What's going on, guys? I'm back again with the weekly Rust Skins videos, and this is actually my second time of recording this video because it turns out I didn't record my audio, so that was fun. I have been away for the past 2 weeks because I got married, so I'm finally back. This is what the top sellers is looking like on the Rust store for this week, and it is the new Force Wipe. So we do have the new general store item, that being the Frontiersman pack. I'm pretty sure it comes with the Hazy. It does say Hazmat and Item Bundle. However, in the description it does say Survive the Wild with the rugged Frontier style, complete with a custom hatchet and double barrel for close encounters. So interesting that it doesn't actually mention the Hazmat. However, it does say here this is for a Hazmat item, but we do have a cheeky Hazy skin, which I do think would blend in quite well in tree environments, heavily dense tree environments, as well as a new metal hatchet skin. I'm pretty sure it is for a metal hatchet, and a new DB skin, which is pretty cool. Gonna probably check that out in game. Maybe right now you might be seeing it, or maybe at the end, but that's what they look like. So top sellers at the moment, we've got the Forest Raiders from the limited store at, we'll say number 1, then the Bismuth Armor Double Door at number 2, and the Oasis Garage Shore at number 3. So let's have a look at the limited store, and we'll get started with the Barbed Wire Poncho, going for $3.85. So from memory, I'm pretty sure I said we have about 27 poncho skins on the community market that are actually below this Barbed Wire Poncho current store price, which is $3.85, and there is only 33 poncho skins actually on the community market. So that does show you that there isn't really much or / enough demand for poncho skins to be starting at the $3.85 mark that this Barbed Wire Poncho skin is starting at, in terms of being able to make money off of them as investments. So I do think that the Barbed Wire Poncho skin is quite cool, being we'll say about like 90% invisible, only having the barbed wire skin itself visible. So I do think it looks quite cool, and I do think that it's going to be hard to distinguish a poncho skin on someone when you do see that, unless you actually know that it's a poncho skin. But because of its price point, I don't think it's going to go up on the community market once it leaves the Rust store, and so for that reason, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Barbed Wire Poncho off of the Rust store for this week. Moving on to the Black Diamond hoodie and pants, going for $2.30 each. The Black Diamond set has performed quite well, so I'm going to go back to SMM just to check this one out, to refresh my memory, but all of the Black Diamond weapons, except for the SAP, are down. However, the weapons don't really determine how the clothing and armor of the same collection are going to perform. So all of the clothing and armor, are up in value, except for the metal chestplate, which is down 29%. So everything else is up, and is up a decent amount for you to actually be making money. So the Black Diamond hoodie and pants, going for $2.30 each, I do think is a good price point for them to be going at. And so for that reason, I will recommend investing in both the Black Diamond hoodie and pants off of the Rust store for this week, and I do think you can make money off of them. So that is going to be all of the clothing and armor. And this video is sponsored by Skin Serpent. So let's just quickly have a look at Skin Serpent. And this is what the new and improved Skin Serpent is looking like. So it's looking very, very handsome indeed. So this, we'll do a little cheeky scroll. This is what it's looking like on the front page. And then we'll go to the marketplace. Skin Serpent is a Rust skin marketplace where you can buy and sell skins, where you do have a 0% buyers and sellers fee, so that is pretty awesome. So let's just say hypothetically, and I know this is only hypothetical for the Almighty watchers in the chat right now, but we do have a Banana Ioka, so hypothetically speaking, you are prim locked. Not possible for us, I know, but this website is in USD. The Banana Ioka you can buy off this website for $99.34. So add that cheeky little bugger to the cart. If you look at the Steam community market for a price comparison, this is in AUD, but $181. $181 AUD to USD is $123. You're saving around about $25 actually buying the Banana Ioka off of Skin Serpent rather than going through Steam. And then on top of that, it is actually quite an accessible website because you can use your payment methods of credit card and debit card as usual, as well as PayPal and crypto, so safe depositing of money there as well. Plus you can also withdraw your money, as I said as well, 0% buyers and 0% sellers fee. So just keep that in mind as well. But that is Skin Serpent, and if you ever are a Primlocked little nerd, then you can go and buy your Banana Ioka off of the site here, and then you can use whatever payment method you want to use. But definitely go and check out Skin Serpent. All right, moving over to the weapons. We have the Bombshell SAR. This is a continuation of that German guy's Bombshell collection. He has been getting a lot of skins accepted. I'm pretty sure he gets the skins accepted as payment for the Rust item store skin picking review thing that he does on his channel. So the Bombshell collection is kind of like definitely a little bit hit and miss, to be honest, when it comes to investing. All of his deployables, or at least most of them, do perform quite well because they are pay to win. However, then you go to the weapons, and most of them, in fact all of them except for the M249 skin, are below what they started at on the Rust item store. So not really a very good run when it comes to the weapons and their price going up in value from the Rust item store to the community market. However, it is what it is, and sometimes these things do happen. The Bombshell SAR is more similar to most of the other weapon skins of the Bombshell set compared to the M249, which is green, and we do have like a green L96, I'm pretty sure, and a green MP5 as well. But yeah, all of the other silver weapon skins are below the Rust item store price. I do think this Bombshell SAR does have a very nice ADS. I really like the shark face looking back at you. Plus, I also like the black front and rear iron sights with the red dots. So I do think they're definitely pluses, and I do think they'll make the weapon a lot easier to use with that skin. But $3.05 is what it's going for. Overall, I don't think it's going to go up in value once it leaves the Rust item store and goes to the community market, so I'm not going to recommend investing in it off of the Rust item store for this week. Moving over to the Shining Edge AK, called the Shining Edge AR, going for $4.60, so it's above standard store price. I do think some of the Rust community will actually enjoy this Shining Edge AK. Personally, it's not for me. I do think the render looks quite nice, but in-game it looks a little bit funky, at least in the screenshots that we're looking at. Maybe I might think differently when I see it in-game in person myself. So one thing that I do want to note, and this is what I thought of as soon as I saw the skin, really like the look of the ADS. However, I do wonder if the dust cover, because it looks like the weapon is quite reflective, I wonder if the dust cover reflects the sun like into your eyes when you're ADSing. Not sure exactly how that would affect gameplay, but perhaps I might try and ADS and have the sun behind me and have the sun try and reflect on the rear of the dust cover to see if it actually does do anything bad. But if it does, of course, that would be slightly pay to lose, but it also would be quite situational. But you don't really want to have problems like that when you're PvPing, especially with T3 gear. Going for $4.60. AK skins are already hard to invest in. If it does have that potentially pay to lose aspect with the reflection from the sun, then I won't recommend investing in it at all. But if it doesn't, I still won't recommend investing in it, simply because everyone already has their favorite AK skin. There's a million AK skins these days on the community market. Plus we also get a whole bunch of free AK skins off of Twitch. So it does make it really hard to be investing in AK skins. You really have to have a really standout AK skin or a collection that's already performing well, and then it being a continuation of that collection in order for the AK to go up in value and be a worthwhile investment, in my opinion. So it's a cool looking AK skin in the renders. Looks not as good, in my opinion, in the in-game screenshots, but I will see how it looks in-game. Either way, I'm not going to recommend investing in it off of the Rust item store for this week. We'll move over to the deployables now, and we have the Forest Raiders locker. I actually think this is a really big skin because this is showing you that if you are new, Forest Raiders is a very successful collection that we already have. However, it's only clothing and armor. Everything is above standard store price. But this is showing you that the Forest Raiders is now finally going into deployables. So as I just said, we have only had clothing and armor, and now we are actually moving over into the deployables with our first locker skin going for $3.85. This is also a glowing deployable. Mind you, it doesn't have a very significant glow. It is quite subtle, but I do think that that will still match the Forest Raider aesthetic instead of going above and beyond and overboard with the glow. I do think it's a good thing. So overall, I think this is actually going to be the re-emergence of Forest Raiders, the collection itself, going back to the Rusted store, but now we're going to start getting more deployables like sheet metal doors and garage doors, for example. So I do think this is going to be a good thing, and I do think that it is likely that just because this set's already so popular, plus people like military gear, it is going to perform well. It's not going to perform as well as the clothing and armor because, of course, it's not going to be as pay to win. It's not going to be as glowing in the dark compared to other skins and other deployables, but it is still going to be part of a really popular set. It's going to look really good in the day. It might not look as flashy at night, but it is still going to have that cool aesthetic that some people like, especially with the military style. So $3.95 is what the Forest Raiders locker is going for. Overall, I will recommend investing in it off of the Rusted store. Right, moving over to the Neon Bismuth Armored Double Door, going for $4.60. We've had 4 bismuth skins come out. We've had a double sheet metal door, we've had a standard sheet metal door, and we've had a garage door. And now we have the armor double door, and there's only one bismuth skin that is actually above center store price, and it's only by 2%, that being the sheet metal double door. I think the neon bismuth armor double door is going to perform similar to the sheet metal double door, but 2% is also meaning that you're not actually making money if you do sell a skin. You're probably still actually losing money. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Neon Bismuth Armor Door off of the Rusted store. If you want to pick up this skin, definitely get it off the community market, the buy order. I think you'll be able to get it for cheaper, and then potentially you might be able to make some money there, but it's not really going to be that significant. So just keep that in mind. Moving over to the Oasis Garage Door. This is a first of this set, and it's going for $3.85. I do think sometimes less is more, and in this case, I do think this one does have a less is more approach with its glow. With the eye just staring back at you, I think it looks really good, and it also looks really good during the day as well. But I do think that this is going to probably be one of those skins that is a little slept on in the Rust community and probably won't have that much demand once it leaves the Rust store and goes to the community market. I wouldn't be surprised if the Oasis did become a collection and did continue, but I don't think it's really going to be a very profitable investment. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Oasis Garage Door, even though I really like the skin. This is going to be a very similar opinion. So moving over to the porcelain sheet metal double door, I'm just quickly going to check out SEMM just to refresh my memory on the prices for this one. But the porcelain creator is just like an awesome artist in my opinion, very smart, and definitely releases skins at a good time. For example, this sheet metal door coming out on the Force Wipe when we do have this new hazmat general item store with the new double barrel and the new hatchet as well. So that is of course what the artist has based this character on, that is on the sheet metal door. And the sheet metal, the porcelain set is really on and off, but we do have, well, I'll just say all of the clothing and armor are below what they started at on the Rusted store. The Roseland gloves are up 1%, but it doesn't really matter. We have half of the weapons below and then the other half up. And then we have only 2 other deployables, being a garage door and a wooden box. Oh, sorry, we have a furnace as well, but the garage door and the wooden box are down 22 to 30%, and the furnace is up 30%. So it's showing you that there's not really much consistency with the porcelain set's prices. They're kind of just going a little bit back and forth, but honestly, I don't think the porcelain set really has that much demand. I actually think that the skins are all really well made. I think the skin creator does a really good job with their art, and it looks really awesome, but the Rust community clearly just doesn't really have that much demand for them, doesn't have that much hype for them. Really like the glow on this porcelain sheet metal door, but I don't think it's going to perform very well. I do think it'll probably go slightly above center store price, but probably around like that 20%, 30% mark, the same as the furnace skin. So overall, personally, I'm not going to recommend investing in the porcelain sheet metal door off the Rust store. If you get it as a play skin off of the community market, then I wouldn't be surprised if you actually did make a little bit of extra money. However, I'm not going to recommend investing in it off of the rest I'm store for this week. Moving over to the Twisted Metal Furnace, going for $3.05. This is now a continuation of the Twisted Metal set. We had the Twisted Metal Garage Door last week, and quite frankly, it was actually quite an ugly set and skin. But I do think that a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but a decent amount of people in Rust actually will kind of like this aesthetic and will kind of want to go towards this aesthetic. However, it doesn't really seem to have that much demand with the garage door being down. I'm pretty sure it was around 30%. I do think that the Twisted Metal Furnace will have the same fate as the garage door. And typically, if a collection is going to perform well, then once the first item comes out, especially if it's back-to-back like this, then the second item comes out. The second item coming out will usually increase the value of the previous item that came out. And in this case, it seems that the garage door is still below the Rust Item Store's price that it released at, and that kind of shows you that this collection isn't really going to have that much demand and is likely not going to make you money in the future. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Twisted Metal Furnace off of the Rust Item Store for this week. Just a quick reminder, go check out Skin Serpent. It is an awesome website and looks absolutely fire these days. And I'll also just quickly go back over the top sellers. So of course we have the general item, which isn't marketable, isn't tradable, so just keep that in mind as well if you weren't aware of that. And then the top sellers were the Forest Raiders Locker, this Bismuth Armored Double Door, and the Oasis Garage Door. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and remember, have a skids one.